and it sounds almost angelic because of the processing that we have on these vocals, the reverb, the delay, the spreading, the panning that we've done. Gives me chills. What's up, everybody? I am Legend, and today we're going to be widening our vocals. I'll be going over a bit of recording your own vocals, how to lay them out in your song, and which plugins you can use to get a nice professional sound in your finished product. Let's dive in. So here's a track I'm working on with Peggy and Isabelle from Lander, and I've gone ahead and recorded my own vocals with the Shure PG-827 microphone to really put this thing through its paces and also add my own flair to the song and show you kind of what we were working with here.
Feel me, but you just won't set it down. You want me, but you're in for one more round.
So as you can see, we have some really clean and natural sounding vocals coming from the microphone, which is going to be one of the most important things when processing audio. You want to have good source audio because the better your source audio, the better sounding your vocal processing will be. So widening the vocals is a technique that is used to add depth to vocals in your song, which is a really great way to emphasize a certain part of a song and differentiate it from something like a verse to a chorus. It builds up the song a little bit more. Now, there are different ways to widen vocals. In some cases, you can even just take a vocal, copy it, and paste it here. Like, for instance, this would be a pasted vocal, and then we just take an auto-tuning or pitch correction plugin and then tune our vocals down an octave. One way that I like to do it is to actually record physically the low end and the high end, but I like to stack my vocals in fours. I went ahead and I stacked that high note that's being sung here 4 times. And I panned my vocals 100% to the left, 100% to the right, then 50% to the left, which would be 30, and 50% to the right. That way, we're having these vocals come from all angles. It's kind of like you're creating your own surround sound box. The vocals are going to sound much more full. I stacked the exact same note that is being sung here, the exact same way. There are no variations, but you have to record the vocals 4 times. You can't just copy and paste. It will not have the same effect. Let's listen to it.
You want me, but you're in for one more round. You love me, but not when she's in town.
It sounds much more emphasized and powerful. Now, we're going to talk about widening on the low end, because one thing that I also love to do is stack octaves. So we already have the higher octave that we're singing along with the lead right here. But what I did is I recorded 4 more stacks of a lower end. It's the exact same note, it's just in a lower register. I did the same panning, 100% to the left, 100% to the right, 50% to the left, and 50% to the right. Obviously, you have to turn down the mixing of these so that they're not overpowering the lead, and also, you know, they're mixed well with each other. So the low end, I definitely turned down the most because that's my strong range, but you can still hear it. But we get that full-on surround sound effect with the high and the low stacking that I did. 8 total stacks along with our 2 that we originally had before I recorded any of my vocals.
You feel me, but you just won't set it down. You want me, but you're in for one more round. You love me, but not when she's in town. Fast talk me, go on, send in the clouds.
This always reminds me of something like Carrie Hilson or like something that Timbaland would be working on, because he does a lot of the octave stacking. So I like the effect that we have right here and how much more grand the chorus sounds. Stomach is going wild again. Last but not least, using a chorus effect or a spreader. Now, a chorus effect is something that you use to spread your vocals and give it more of a surround sound. This is an effect that is especially useful for somebody like me who processes my vocals and records my vocals the way that I do. And so to further emphasize my stacks, I like to add this spreader to each and every single vocal so that I get even more of a wide open surround sound, so that when people are listening, they really feel immersed in the song. So the plugin that I'm using to spread my vocals is going to be CLA Vocals. It's one of those all-in-one plugins where you have compressors and treble and bass. This is going to be our stereo spread, and we're going to turn it up almost all the way to the top. It's going to spread our vocals that are already panned, so it's going to further sit them in the background where they belong.
You feel me, but you just won't set it down. You want me, but you're in for one more round. You love me, but not when she's in town. Fast talk me, go on, send in the
Listen to that echo, that delay at the end. Ooh, totally sounds amazing. And this is one of my top secret tricks that I love to teach people. The vocal stacking is super clutch in this scenario. After our second verse, we have a double chorus. Basically just copied and pasted everything from our first chorus to the second chorus. But you see here, we have many more vocals that I did record. Now, these are going to be oohs that I added to further emphasize a background. And the reason I did this is because when you have a chorus that repeats itself once again, you want to change it up in some way, not just have the same thing repeating over and over. You want to add a little bit of an extra oomph that differentiates the first half of the second chorus from the second half of the second chorus. Maybe it's too much. You know, this is all just me creating as I go. This is what I like to do. If it is too much, I dial it back. For me, it's always nicer to have something that you add a little bit too much to and then dial it back later than to not have enough and not figure out how can I pump it up even more.
But you just won't set it down. You want me, but you ain't for one more round. You love me, but not when she's in town. That's Charlie. Go and sit in the clouds.
I'm a sucker for good harmonies. I love harmonies. So I did the same type of vocal recording that I did for our stacks here. I started with a main background ooh. Ooh. Then I came up with the harmonic ones that will go along with it. That's a second note, and then I did a fourth note as well. Ooh. And if you play all of them together, it gives a whole new vibe to the second part of the chorus. And that's something that you want to do when you're processing your vocals and when you're recording your vocals. You want to tell a story with the sonics as the listener is listening. You don't want to keep it static the whole time, the same processing the whole time. You have to keep that story going. And that's going to be what really keeps people interested in listening to your song and what makes for a memorable song as well. I really like what Isabelle and Peggy sent me, and I believe that what I did really does add to the song and makes it a lot more interesting to the listener. And if you guys found this video to be helpful, please be sure to leave a like on this video. Leave a comment down below letting us know what vocal processing tricks you're going to try when you work on your next song. And again, a huge thank you to Shure for making this video possible. Thank you for having me on board, Lander. And as always, stay legendary. I don't know if you guys will do the fade out. I hope so. This isn't I feel like a robot. Okay. Hello?